Cats live in two worlds, one we see and one they never show completely. Behind their graceful silence lies a life of deep observation, emotional depth, and startling intelligence. They are not just pets, they are quiet thinkers, silent watchers, and subtle teachers. Much like us, they carry their stories inside, revealing only what they choose. A cat's secret is not that it hides from the world, but that it understands it far better than we assume. Their stillness isn't laziness, it's contemplation. Their stare isn't blank, it's decoding you. Their aloofness isn't arrogance, it's boundaries. Sound familiar? It should, because in their independence, unpredictability, and emotional intelligence, cats resemble us, more than we dare to admit. Have you ever noticed how a cat finds you when you're sad, curling up beside you without a sound, or how it disappears when tension fills a room? Cats are not just emotionally sensitive, they are emotional mirrors. They tune into the energy we radiate. When we are calm, they are near. When we are stressed, they watch from a distance, waiting for our storm to pass. Just like humans, cats don't always show affection with noise. They love in whispers, a soft nudge, a warm purr, a slow blink. In this way, they resemble the quiet-hearted among us, those who speak with presence, not volume. Humans long for freedom, to live on their own terms, to follow their passions, to have moments of solitude. Cats embody this dream perfectly. They don't need constant approval. They do what they love when they love it, without guilt. They rest when they're tired. They play when they're inspired. They leave when they need space. They don't abandon us. They just value their inner peace. Sound familiar? It's the same reason we seek quiet cafes, long walks, or just time to be alone. Cats teach us the art of independence with grace, not rebellion. They remind us that being alone can be beautiful. Wake up, stretch, stare out the window. Breakfast, nap, mid-morning prowl, another nap, grooming, more staring, evening zoomies, midnight meditation under the moon. If that sounds like a cat's day, it also sounds eerily close to a peaceful human retreat. See as live with a rhythm, a set of rituals that bring balance to their lives. And we too crave rhythm. Morning coffee, evening walks, Sunday silence. When life feels chaotic, we search for a pattern, just like a cat returning to its favorite windowsill every afternoon. They teach us that routine isn't boring, it's sacred. Cats never stop exploring. A new box is an adventure. A moving string is a quest. A fluttering leaf is a whole universe of movement and mystery. Their curiosity is boundless, fearless, beautiful. And in them, we see the child within us, the part that still wants to touch, smell, listen, feel. We too long to learn, to discover, to understand. Whether it's reading a new book, learning a dance, or traveling to a distant place, we chase wonder. Cats simply do it in the living room, with their tails flicking and eyes wide. Cats don't show their full selves to just anyone. They test you. They wait. They protect their soft parts, just like us. We hide our wounds. We laugh when we're hurting. We show the world only parts of our full truth. And so do cats. Their mysterious nature isn't just a trait, it's a shield, a choice, a story we only get to read if we're patient. And when a cat finally rolls over and shows you its belly, the most vulnerable part, it's more than cute. It's trust, unveiled. The same way we slowly open to those we love. Cats don't pretend. If they don't like something, they'll walk away. If they love you, they'll stay. No mind games, no fake purring, no forced cuddles, just honesty. And isn't that the love we all seek, real, raw, and on mutual terms? Cats show us what healthy boundaries look like. They love with dignity, they demand respect. They won't give affection just because you expect it. But when they do, when they choose you, it's pure, powerful, and deeply personal. Watch a cat groom itself, carefully, repeatedly, elegantly. It's not just about hygiene, it's a ritual of presence, a daily act of self-love. Cats take pride in their appearance, not out of vanity, but as a way of keeping balance between their inner and outer world. Humans too find peace in caring for themselves. A warm shower, brushing your hair, wearing something that feels good on your skin. These little acts of self-care connect us to our feline friends who remind us that tending to yourself is not selfish. It's sacred. Cats do not shout their wisdom. They embody it. They live slowly, mindfully. They know when to rest. They don't chase what isn't theirs. They do not people please. They are present in every breath, every moment, every nap. In their quiet way, they are teachers of the highest order. They show us that you can be soft and powerful, that you can be alone and not be lonely, that you can be small and still command a room. Cats live in a sacred space between silence and presence, between the seen and the unseen. Their footsteps are whispers, their glances a form of poetry. We often believe they're just lounging, but in truth, they're absorbing, watching the world with ancient eyes. They notice the smallest things, the flicker of a candle, the tremble of a curtain, the shift in your mood. A cat doesn't just inhabit a home, they feel it. They memorize the way sunlight hits the floor at noon, the hum of the fridge at midnight, the tone of your voice when you're quietly sad. Their lives are full of secret routines, unknown corners, and invisible rituals. At night, when the house sleeps, the cat awakens, not to cause mischief, but to return to its kingdom. You'll find them perched on windowsills like sentinels of the spirit world, eyes reflecting moonlight, thoughts lost in places we cannot reach. In these moments, cats remind us that not everything needs to be explained. Some things are meant to be felt, quietly, deeply, and alone. Cats do not listen with their ears alone, they listen with their entire being. When your shoulders slump, your cat notices. When your thoughts grow heavy, your cat lingers near. Not to fix, not to advise, but to be. This quiet companionship is more than affection. It is a kind of spiritual empathy. They sense when the world has been too loud for you. They come not with solutions, but with silence, curling beside your chaos, purring a rhythm that brings your soul back into sync. Even their eyes, those deep, blinking galaxies, seem to absorb your unspoken truths. When a cat locks eyes with you and then slowly blinks, it is not just love. It's a message. I see you. I trust you. I am safe with you. What a gift that is, to be fully seen without judgment. Cats do not ask you to perform your joy or hide your sorrow. They are content with your realness. And in that mirror, you begin to see yourself more clearly, more kindly. A cat's independence is not rebellion. It is wisdom. They do not beg for love. They wait for it to come naturally. They are not absent because they do not care, but because they understand the sacredness of personal space. In a world where people are often told to be everything to everyone, cats show us the beauty of just being yourself. Unapologetically. They will not follow commands that do not make sense to them. They will not give parts of themselves they are not ready to share. This isn't defiance, it's dignity. And in that dignity, we see our own silent wishes. We too want to move through life with authenticity. We want to rest without guilt, walk away from things that exhaust us, and love without losing ourselves. Cats do exactly that. They are not owned, they are partnered, and their independence reminds us of our own right to be whole before we are anything to anyone else. Life moves too fast, but cats slow it down. They do not rush, they stretch slowly, they eat slowly. They watch the world with eyes that say, "Why hurry?" Their days are a soft cycle of play, rest, groom, wander, dream. It's not laziness, it's balance. Their rhythm is intuitive, spiritual. It's not bound by clocks, but by feeling. Each routine is sacred. The morning stretch by the window, the sunbath on the floor, the post-dinner groom that turns into a nap. There's something healing in their consistency. While we rush from task to task, cats ask us to pause, to breathe, to return to our bodies. Their lives are not driven by deadlines, but by presence. Watching them, you begin to remember what a day can feel like when it's lived, not just survived. A fluttering leaf becomes a wild chase. A plastic bag becomes a fortress. A doorway becomes a gateway to the unknown. Cats carry the spirit of the child we all once were, the one who saw wonder in everything. They do not judge what fascinates them. They don't need permission to play. They follow their impulses, trust their instincts, and lose themselves in the moment. In a cat's eyes, every object holds possibility. And what about us? We too long to explore, not always lands and countries, but emotions, ideas, imaginations. We read books to escape. We travel to find ourselves. We ask questions to understand the world. Our curiosity, like the cat's, is endless. And just like them, we grow not by having answers, but by continuing to look, curious, brave, and endlessly alive. There are parts of a cat you will never know, places they go when they leave your lap, thoughts they hold behind their still eyes. This is not secrecy, it is depth, and in them we recognize ourselves. Because don't we too hide the softest parts of who we are? Don't we smile when we ache, stay quiet when we long to speak, walk away when we really want to stay? Cats do not explain their silence. They wear their mystery like velvet. They know that not everything must be revealed to be real. Their affection, their loyalty, their pain. It is all real, even if unspoken. And so is ours. Cats teach us to honor our complexity, to protect what is sacred, and to be proud of the layers that make us whole. When a cat curls beside you, it is not because you called, it is because they chose. That choice makes their affection sacred. They don't give it out of duty, they give it out of truth. Their love is slow, deliberate, rare, and when it comes, it is the most sincere kind of love. There are no strings, no games, just presence. They teach us that love is not about possession or performance. It is about connection, built slowly, with trust. And they teach us something else. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to love deeply without being constantly available. A cat will walk away and return, and still love you just as much. They show us that absence doesn't mean abandonment. It can mean respect for space. And in their style of love, we learn a healthier way to love ourselves and others. To groom is to center, to lick their paws, clean their ears, comb their coat. It's not vanity. It's a return to self. A way of saying, I matter. My being matters. And that ritual, repeated every day, is an act of devotion. Cats do not wait until they are unwell to care for themselves. They care because they exist, and that's reason enough. How often do we, in our busy lives, forget to tend to ourselves? Skip meals, ignore rest, push through exhaustion? But when you watch a cat, you remember, care is not optional. It is the foundation. And it doesn't have to be grand. A warm bath, a walk in nature, a few minutes of silence. It's enough. Cats show us that tending to yourself is the first step to loving the world more deeply. Not all teachers wear robes or hold books. Some walk on silent paws, blink slowly, and stretch toward the sun. Cats are not loud about their wisdom. They do not preach, they simply live. And in their living, they offer lessons we didn't know we needed. How to rest without guilt, how to love without losing yourself, how to explore without fear, how to sit in stillness and just be. They do not rush, yet they are never late. They do not plan, yet they are never lost. They do not seek to please, yet they are deeply loved. Cats live in a state of acceptance, flowing with life instead of against it. And in their quiet example, we see a better way to move through our own lives. Not with force, but with grace. Not with noise, but with presence. Not with performance, but with peace. From the golden temples of Egypt to the silent rooftops of Japan, cats have long been more than mere animals. They've been symbols, spirits, and silent deities. Ancient Egyptians saw them not as pets, but as divine protectors. To harm a cat was a crime against the gods. They were guardians of grain, banishers of evil spirits, and companions of Bastet, the goddess of home, fertility, and feminine power. Her face, half lioness, half cat, wasn't fierce with rage. It glowed with watchful serenity. Travel to the east and you'll meet the maneki neko, the beckoning cat, raising its paw to invite good fortune. In Japanese culture, this little ceramic feline sits in doorways and shop fronts, calling in luck with grace and a soft smile. In Norse mythology, The goddess Freya rode in a chariot pulled by two giant cats, symbols of intuition, mystery, and feminine strength. Even in folklore and fairy tales, the cat walks between worlds, sometimes a trickster, sometimes a wise guide, always unpredictable, always powerful. Whether feared as witches' familiars or adored as house spirits, they remain mysterious figures that straddle myth and reality. They are not creatures of the earth alone, they are travelers of time, memory, and unseen dimensions. Do not be fooled by the stillness of a cat. They are thinkers, planners, strategists. While the world rushes, they observe. While others act, they calculate. Feline intelligence isn't loud, it's quiet brilliance. They remember routines, open doors with paws, find hidden objects, and manipulate humans with a single look. Their problem-solving skills are astonishing. They can learn by watching once. They anticipate your moves, and they always seem to know when something's off. But perhaps their greatest genius is emotional. Cats are experts in energy. They enter rooms and immediately feel the atmosphere. They approach gently when needed, withdraw when space is sacred. They bond in slow, meaningful ways. They are not pets who obey, they are beings who understand. Science may measure intelligence in puzzles and responses, but cats teach us that wisdom lies in sensitivity, in subtlety, in the ability to listen without needing to speak. Their genius is not always shown, it is sensed. And in that, they are not unlike artists, healers, and poets. Sometimes healing doesn't come in words or medicine. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a warm body curled on your lap, a soft purr vibrating into your chest, a gentle presence that expects nothing but gives everything. Cats are emotional alchemists. They take your pain, your loneliness, your fatigue, and transmute it into calm, peace, stillness. Their purrs are not just cute sounds, they are healing frequencies. Vibrating between 25 and 150 Hz, the cat's purr has been shown to promote healing of bones, reduce inflammation, and soothe anxiety. But more than science, there is a feeling, that indescribable comfort when a cat chooses to be close to you in your hardest moments. As if they know, as if they care, as if they've been sent for that very purpose. In hospices, therapy centers, and even prison rehabilitation programs, cats are brought in not to entertain, but to heal, to remind people of gentleness, to rekindle empathy, to return us to something ancient, sacred, soft. And in their simple presence, they remind us of something even deeper, that love, at its best, is quiet and unconditional. Have you ever looked into a cat's eyes and felt as though it was peering through you, into something beyond this world? Cats are often seen as guardians of the veil between the physical and the spiritual. Their sudden stares at invisible corners, their nighttime wanderings, their affinity for moonlight, all seem to suggest they're in tune with something we can't quite see. In many spiritual traditions, cats are believed to see beyond the veil. They protect homes from negative energies. They sense ghosts, emotions, shifts in vibration. In dreams, a cat often represents intuition, feminine energy, independence, or even a spiritual guide. When one shows up in your life unannounced, many believe it carries a message. Trust your instincts, honor your boundaries, and stay quietly strong. And perhaps that's why so many creative souls, writers, musicians, mystics, have always kept cats nearby. Not just as pets, but as muses, as spiritual mirrors, as protectors of the quiet magic that flows beneath the noise of the world. There's something unforgettable about the moment a cat chooses you. It doesn't need grand gestures, just a soft gaze, a gentle paw, a sudden purr when you least expect it. Across the world, people tell stories of cats who saved them from depression, comforted them through grief, helped children speak for the first time, and even sensed medical conditions before any doctor could. There are cats who sit by the doors of hospitals, waiting for patients to return. Cats who follow children to school every day, walking them to the gate and back again. Cats who curl on the graves of their humans long after they've passed, their loyalty unbroken. One such tale tells of a cat named Oscar in a Rhode Island nursing home who could sense when residents were about to pass away. He would quietly climb into their beds, offering silent comfort in their final hours. His presence brought peace to families. No one trained him to do it. He just knew. Because cats know. That's their secret. Kie. Cats are more than creatures that share our homes. They are reflections, mirrors of our quiet selves, our hidden strengths, our secret dreams. In their eyes, we see both the mystery of the cosmos and the comfort of a warm room. They are wild and soft, independent and loving, still and deeply alive. And in that contradiction, they show us who we truly are. They remind us to pause, to feel, to rest without guilt, to love without losing ourselves. They teach us that silence can be powerful, that solitude can be sacred, and that presence is a gift. When a cat curls beside you and purrs, it's not just a pet showing affection, it's the universe whispering, be still, be soft, be here. So, next time you see your cat gazing out the window, lost in a world only they can see, don't rush them. Join them. Sit beside them. Breathe. Watch. Feel. Because in that moment, you're not just with a cat. You're with a soul, a whisper of the wild, a teacher in fur, and maybe, just maybe, a little piece of the divine.